Hello, welcome to another Genshin Impact video, and my name is Blossoms, and today we're going to be checking out the talents and constellations of Mona, and this one is going to be a little scuffed. We are in the Mona quest right now, and the time that you get to play her, at least the first time that you get to play her, is kind of spur on the moment, so I don't really have ample time to show off these different things, but we're still going to try and show them off for everybody here, that we have an idea of how she works and operates, and if you may want to summon for her in the future on a potential rate-up banner or anything that may be happening. Anyhow, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the talents. For Mona's first talent, we have Normal Attack, Ripple of Fate. It's your typical catalyst slash, book user, mage type stuff where, hydro damage is her default damage along with an AoE hydro damage on her charged up attack, and then her plunging attack AoE hydro damage as well. Here are the skill attributes for those of you interested. And then this is how her normal attack works. See, very normal stuff here. You will notice that it is getting everybody wet. And then that's her charge attack. It creates that big puddle, very similar to Barbara's, except, there's a lot more celestial stuff going on. And you'll notice I've got quite the interesting dash right there. But that's pretty much it for that. And we could probably get up here for a little plunge attack real quick. Yeah, see, not too bad. Moving on to her second talent here, we have Mirror Reflection of Doom. Creates an illusory phantom of fate from coalesced water spouts. The phantom has the following special properties: continuously taunts nearby enemies attracting their fire, continuously deals hydro damage to nearby enemies, and then when its duration expires, the phantom explodes, dealing AoE hydro damage. And it also has a hold effect where it utilizes water currents to move backwards swiftly before conjuring a phantom. Only one phantom created by Mirror Reflection of Doom can exist at any time. Very important to note. And that hold one seems to be more of like a, you can use it to dodge kind of deal. And one thing to note here is this is pretty much Amber's bunny, but literally better because it has a continuously deals hydro damage aspect to it. And, here are the aspects here for you guys, for those of you interested. And then this is what the talent looks like. Creates a little thing dealing that AoE hydro damage and then exploding for a pretty good amount there. Moving on to Mona's third talent here, we have Illusory Torrent. Mona cloaks herself with the water's flow, consuming stamina to move rapidly. When under the effect of Illusory Torrent, Mona can move at high speed on water. Applies the wet status to nearby enemies when she reappears. We've already seen a little bit of this, there isn't too much here. Activation stamina consumption 10, stamina drain 15 per second. We did see a little bit of this earlier while I was in combat. She, goes underwater no matter where she is, or just becomes water, and then pops back up. And when she pops back up, it applies the wet status, which is really important to note for if you're trying to do your combos and you have Mona. You could just dash into somebody and then swap to your melee character that's going to proc whatever, combo you're trying to accomplish. And then this is what Illusory Torrent looks like. You literally, just go around like that. Let's see if we can get down to the water here. And you'll see that she can literally walk on water. And she's pretty darn fast at it. Oh, did that take me out? So an important thing there for you guys who care, if you actually go outside of the boundary there, you can actually replay this little scripted fight as much as you like, apparently, which is very nice. If this is the only time that you're really using Mona in this quest, which I don't know if it is, as obviously I haven't completed it, then you'll be able to play her, as much as you want, which is very nice. Moving on to her fourth talent here, we have Stellaris Phantasm. Mona summons the sparkling waves and creates a reflection of the starry sky, applying the illusory bubble status to opponents in a large AoE. Traps opponents inside a pocket of destiny and also makes them wet. Renders weaker opponents immobile. When an opponent affected by illusory bubbles sustains damage, the following effects are produced. It applies an omen to the opponent, which gives a damage bonus. It also increases the damage of the attack that causes it. So basically that means when you trap them inside the bubble and you attack them, it applies an omen, which allows you to deal more damage overall, and also the attack that actually caused the omen to be applied also has increased attack. And then, you know, it removes the illusory bubble, dealing hydro elemental damage in the process when you remove them from the bubble. And the omen during its duration increases damage taken by enemies. So basically that means Mona on her ult is just debuffing everybody, which is absolutely insane. And you will notice she has some of the constellations here, so she's at level 5, and the damage bonus is 50%, which is absolutely insane. The omen duration is only 4.5, but that doesn't matter. The 50% damage bonus is actually crazy, and it already does good damage by itself. And it's a fairly low energy cost with only 15-second cooldown, not to mention that Mona does also gain some benefits from having energy recharge. So you're just really going to want to charge her out for some energy recharge and be dealing a huge amount of damage and debuffing enemies with that elemental burst. And then this is what Stellaris Phantasm looks like for those of you interested. Super cool animation, and then you see it holds them in place there, and then you can debuff them by hitting them. And it also deals a huge amount of damage whenever it's done, which is also important to notice. For her 5th talent, we have Come and Get Me Hag. After she has used Illusory Torrent for 2 seconds, if there are any enemies nearby, Mona will automatically create a phantom. A phantom created in this manner lasts for 2 seconds, and its explosion damage is equal to 50% of Mirror Reflection of Doom. So basically, it gets 50% of whatever Mirror Reflection of Doom is, and creates a very brief version of Mirror of Reflection of Doom just for sprinting for 2 seconds straight. And we'll go ahead and show that off. So you see 1, 2, and look. It also appears while you're still sprinting, so it's not on release or anything, which is important to note. For her 5th talent, we have Waterborne Destiny. Increases Mona's hydro damage bonus by a degree equivalent to 20% of her energy recharge rate. That's kind of nuts, considering you're always going to want to have an elemental burst. So you just pile, you know, energy recharge rate, and you're also getting a hydro damage bonus from this talent, which is actually crazy. And, you know, obviously what is separating Mona as a 5-star is her ability to just going to be able to ult spam and also be dealing a huge amount of damage while debuffing. So I think she's a fantastic support DPS. But moving on to her final talent here, we have Precipium of Astrology. When Mona crafts a weapon ascension material, she has a 25% chance to refund a portion of the crafting materials used. This is, you know, an absolutely fantastic passive. It's just one of those that refund materials on weapon ascension, you know, mats, which is something you're always going to be doing, so it's just a nice thing to have. Now, finally moving on to her constellations here, we have Prophecy of Submersion. The effects of hydro-related elemental reactions are enhanced for 8 seconds after a character hits an enemy affected by an omen. Electrocharge damage is increased by 15%, Vaporize increased by 15%, Hydro Swirl damage increased by 15%, and the duration for which enemies are frozen is increased by 15%. This is extremely good, considering the fact that when you proc the omen, it wets the character, you know, with the hydro elemental damage it does. Therefore, your next elemental reaction with another character is just going to be doing 15% extra damage on top of the fact that they're debuffed by 50%, which, you know, math guys out there, 65%, dealing huge amounts of more of damage, which is just, you know, huge. I think she's probably the best support DPS in the game. When a normal attack hits, there's a 20% chance that it will automatically be followed by a charged attack. This effect will only occur once every 5 seconds. This is kind of crazy. I don't know if this actually consumes stamina on the proc of it, which, if it does, I don't know how I feel about that, but if it's just a free charge attack that happens every now and then, that's actually crazy considering how much damage charge attacks typically do. So it's just going to be increasing the amount of general damage you're doing to people, which I'm all for. Moving on to that 3rd constellation, we have Restless Revolution. It increases the level of Stellaris Phantasm by 3. Everybody has these, we've already seen this. Moving on to Prophecy of Oblivion. When a character attacks an enemy affected by the Omen status effect, their crit rate is increased by 15%. So that's incredible. So not only, if you have her at Constellation 4 and you're keeping up here, not only are you debuffing them, you know, and allowing your, I guess you're not debuffing them, you're buffing your teammates by 50% is what you're doing when they are hit by an omen. But anyway, When they have the Omen and you're getting that 50% extra damage and that 15% extra damage on elemental reactions, mind you, you're also getting your crit rate increased by 15%, so you're likely going to crit if you have your whoever's triggering the reaction, you know, built out for crit, then they're just going to be doing even more damage. And I can see how Mona starts to get out of hand and why I've been seeing those clips of people doing like 500,000 damage with Mona or something like that. It was crazy. You can look them up yourself, I'm sure, but there was definitely like somebody who did like 500k damage with Mona. Moving on to the 5th constellation, we have Mockery of Fortuna. It increases the level of Mirror Reflection of Doom by 3, nothing crazy, as I said, we've seen this in all of them. Moving on to her 6th constellation here, we have Rhetoric of Calamitous. Upon entering Illusory Torrent, Mona gains a 60% increase to the damage of her next charge attack per second of movement. A maximum damage bonus of 180% can be achieved in this manner. This effect lasts for no more than 8 seconds. This is actually pretty crazy considering the fact that you're going to be sprinting anyway, and if you do it for 3 seconds, which is only one more than the talent that drops a mini taunt requires, then you're going to be getting that 180% damage bonus no problem. And I don't know if these work together, but if you get lucky on your normal attack and you get that 20% for the charge attack, you will also be dealing that much more damage for free if the stamina consumption is free. Obviously, there are some things we don't know how they work, but you can understand how it could potentially be absolutely bonkers. Now, before moving on to the build portion, which will be brief as I don't have Mona and I haven't been able to play her too much. However, I have a pretty rough idea of how you should probably be building her. But with that said, this is the lore for Mona. For those of you interested, you can go ahead and read that. Then moving on to the build portion, obviously you're going to want to build Mona with 2 major stats in mind, that being energy recharge, attack, and hydro damage bonus. I would probably go with that order on the 3 artifacts that get those boosts. Probably attack percent, hydro damage bonus, and energy recharge are all just going to be the things you want. And then, you know, obviously substats of like attack and crit rate, etc. are going to be really helpful as well. But I feel like those are going to be the key attributes for Mona. But in terms of artifact sets, I could easily see some stuff like the Noblesse Oblige set getting that elemental burst damage by 20%, and also using an elemental burst increases all party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds. That could be absolutely huge for Mona. So not only are you dealing 20% more with her elemental burst, which already does a ton of damage, and, you know, buffs your allies' damage to the enemies affected by it, your allies will also be getting a 20% attack increase on that attack increase already. You can see how good that can really get out of hand, but I think that's probably the best in slot for Mona, as there are no hydro damage bonus artifacts sets yet. But I think that in particular is probably going to be the move for Mona. And then, you know, the budget version, probably Exile set, where you get that extra energy recharge, regenerates energy for the party. You know, that might work. Instructor as well. You know, anything buffing that energy recharge is going to be huge, but I think your best option is probably going to be the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige set. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video, pretty much. You know, I really like her talents, and I can see how she can be absolutely insane, and now I understand why people were doing massive damage numbers with Mona. If you have Mona, I highly suggest you use her. I really like the way Hydro characters work with all their elemental reactions in this game, and Mona is no exception. If anything, she's probably the current best Hydro character, and she just deals huge amounts of damage, and I absolutely love the way she operates. But, you know, let me know what you guys thought about the video. Did I leave anything out, or is there anything else you would like to see? Leave a like below, comment below as well, and subscribe for more, as we're always doing videos like this in the future. With that said, my name's Blossoms, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.